Did you know that there are over 3,000 versions of Amazing Grace available on Amazon? 200 years after it was written, it was on the top 10 charts. The hymn was sung before Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech in 1963, and when Nelson Mandela was released from prison in South Africa in 1990. It was sung in Germany on November 9, 1989, when the Berlin Wall fell, and to comfort American citizens after the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001. Each of those situations were moments of deep darkness, racism, imprisonment, separation, segregation, and terrorism. Grace is so truly amazing and contrary to our sinful human nature that it is a beacon of light in the darkness. Author Philip Yancey says that grace is the only force in the universe powerful enough to break the chains that enslave generations. Grace alone melts on grace. There is something inside the human soul that cries out for something we can't come up with on our own. We live in a dark world with a lot of hurt and pain. We can't figure out how to fix it. So our soul cries out for someone to fix it for us. And He does. God fixes it by His grace. It's been said that we are all one bad decision away from living on the streets. In the 1500s, a Christian named John Bradford was watching prisoners being led to their execution. He said, "There but for the grace of God go I." In other words, he knew it was only by God's grace, not his own goodness, that he was watching the prisoners, not walking with them. Author Lee Strobel writes, "Some people are in obvious need of God's forgiveness, like the brutal slave trader John Newton, who ended up so amazed by grace that he penned the classic hymn about it. Or Saul of Tarsus, a persecutor of Christians who celebrated grace after he became the Apostle Paul. But the truth is, we are all in need of God's forgiveness and His grace. When we've experienced God's grace, it changes our lives, just like it did for John Newton." The book of Acts was written by Luke. At the end of his writing, he records Paul's words to the Christians in Ephesus. Let's read what Paul said in Acts 20, verse 32. "Now I commit you to God and to the word of His grace, which can build you up and give you an inheritance among all those who are sanctified." As we've learned, truth and grace belong together. One of the ways we share God's grace is by sharing the truth of our own story and how He changed us. As this verse says, we can build others up or encourage each other in the faith. So, what is your testimony of God's grace in your life?